In the fall of 1962, the body of 33-year-old Agnes Chappell, also known as Parks, was found in Indianapolis, Indiana's former York hotel. Despite suffering injuries that police called the work of a sadist, her cause of death was ultimately determined to be due to acute alcoholism. What really happened to Agnes? On September 14, 1962, 60-year-old Lucille Robinson, a housekeeper at Indianapolis, Indiana's former York hotel, was carrying out her morning cleaning routine when she stumbled onto a horrific scene. At approximately 7:30 in the morning, Lucille entered room 225 to find a deceased woman lying on the floor. Lucille immediately informed hotel staff, who in turn summoned for police. The woman was identified via fingerprints as 33-year-old Agnes Chappell. Agnes was found lying on the floor near the foot of the room's bed, with one hand still clutching the bed skirt. She was naked and covered in blood. An autopsy concluded that Agnes had died as a result of massive internal hemorrhaging caused by multiple vaginal lacerations that were most likely inflicted by a glass beer or soda bottle or similar object. Her time of death was placed between 7 in the evening and 3 in the morning. Evidence at the scene indicated that the injuries inflicted on Agnes had occurred on the room's bed, as both the mattress and box spring were found to be entirely soaked through with blood. It appeared at one point Agnes had attempted to stand, using the wall for balance, before collapsing at the foot of the bed, succumbing to her injuries. The room was littered with trash, including pop bottles, beer cans, and a half-dozen empty bottles of gin. A wet, blood-stained pillowcase was also found in the room, appearing as though someone had made an attempt to clean it. Despite the condition of the room, detectives did not believe a struggle had occurred. Agnes's black leather handbag, containing 2 dry cleaning tickets and a room key to the Indianapolis Athletics Club, was found in the room. However, the purse held no money or identification. According to the desk clerk, 60-year-old Edna Ball, Agnes, accompanied by a neatly dressed man, had checked into the hotel the previous afternoon around 2:45. He was described as being in his 40s, clean-shaven, and wearing a suit. The pair registered as husband and wife under the name Mr. and Mrs. R.B. Robinson and listed their home address as Terre Haute, Indiana. Just after their check-in, Agnes mistakenly entered the wrong hotel room. A housekeeper who was tidying the vacant room explained to police that Agnes walked in, sat down on the bed, and started reading a newspaper. She added that Agnes appeared to be in a daze. A few moments later, Agnes's male companion fetched her from the room, telling her, "Honey, this is not our room," before escorting Agnes down the hall and into room 225. 53-year-old Edward Gray, a hotel bellhop, informed detectives he had made 3 trips to room 225 that evening. The first was to deliver a case of beer around 6, the second at 7:30 to deliver a food order, and the third and final time at 9 to deliver a bottle of gin. Edward claimed that each time he made a delivery, a man opened the door only a few inches to retrieve the requested items. Police continued to question the remaining members of hotel staff as well as the hotel's guests. However, none claimed to hear anything suspicious coming from the room during the night. One witness, however, did come forward claiming to have seen Agnes at a nearby bar on the afternoon she had checked into the hotel. According to him, she was in the company of a different man than the one described by hotel staff at the time. An employee of Davis Cleaners, a nearby dry cleaning service, confirmed Agnes had dropped off 2 waitressing outfits to be cleaned that morning, however stated she was alone. Detectives learned that Agnes was married and the mother to 3 sons, ages 7, 12 and 14. After informing 52-year-old Orville Chappell of his wife's death, He explained to investigators that he had not seen Agnes in several weeks and was in the process of filing for divorce. According to Orville, Agnes was an alcoholic. Due to her uncontrollable drinking, Orville had been forced to take the couple's children to Ohio to live with his family. He could offer up no potential suspects. One day after the discovery of Agnes's body, a gas station attendant in nearby Shelbyville, Indiana, phoned in a tip to police. According to him, a man fitting the description of Agnes's mystery male companion had purchased a pack of cigarettes from him just before 5 in the morning. After giving a detailed description of the man's vehicle, state police set up a roadblock in the hopes of finding him. The tactic proved successful, however. As the man approached the roadblock, he failed to stop and instead drove around the blockade. Police discharged a shotgun twice, striking the station wagon's tire and disabling the vehicle. The driver was arrested and identified as 47-year-old Carl Price, an industrial plant worker from Anderson, Indiana. Carl denied knowing Agnes. When questioned about his actions, Carl explained he hadn't stopped because he was unaware it was a roadblock. According to him, he thought there had been a wreck. It was only when the gunshots disabled his vehicle was he made aware of the situation. With no reason to hold Carl, he was charged with speeding and released. Fingerprints found on one of the empty alcohol bottles in the room led police to their next potential suspect, a 37-year-old Bargersville, Indiana man named Robert Robertson. Although Robert voluntarily offered to come to Indianapolis for questioning, once there and informed of the situation, he refused to appear in a lineup or take a lie detector test. Soon after, he requested an attorney. Robert was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. At the recommendation of his attorney, Robert agreed to speak with detectives and take a polygraph exam. He did not deny checking into the hotel with Agnes. According to him, the pair had met in a nearby bar and decided to get a room. Robert claimed, however, that after drinking more in the room, Agnes became extremely intoxicated and passed out just before 7 in the evening. A few minutes later, Robert left the hotel and returned to his home in Bargersville. Eight months later, the charges against Robert were dismissed. According to the prosecutor, several pieces of evidence indicated Robert was not responsible for Agnes's death, including the confirmation of his alibi. According to a relative of Robert's, he had arrived home at 8 p.m. that evening. Robert also passed his polygraph exam. Furthering their reasoning for release, Agnes's cause of death was officially changed to acute alcoholism, after a toxicology report revealed a blood alcohol concentration of 0.659. Despite initially calling her injuries the work of a sadist, it was also concluded it was possible the wounds had been self-inflicted. Agnes was laid to rest in Clark County, Ohio's Vale Cemetery under her maiden name of Parks. Sadly, what really happened to Agnes will most likely forever remain a mystery. Interesting side note. At the time of Agnes's death, the York Hotel sat perched atop Fox Theatre, a once well-known burlesque-style theatre. By the 1970s, the theatre became an adult entertainment location, screening adult films. It was eventually torn down and is now the location of Indianapolis's second tallest building, the One America Tower. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. See you soon, and remember, stay vigilant and stay safe.